Hello folks, welcome to Desperado Van Adventures. Now this video is the first part of a tour that we done from Scotland to Wales in the summer of 2022. So sit back and enjoy. In this video we travel as far as Aberdaron in Wales. Aberdaron's about 15-20 miles south of Carnarvon. And then on the next video we'll be heading back again to England and back up to Scotland before heading home. So this is the ferry turning round in the River Lagan in Belfast before it makes its way out to Scotland. And this is us coming into Carnryan port. Now it used to be Stranraer was the main one, but it's Carnryan. It's only up the road from Stranraer. So the first thing we done when we got there was fuel up. So I went to a filling station in Stranraer, and it cost us more or less £2 per litre. You can see it on the sign. 199.9, so not a kick in the backside of £2. So we've been here many times. We left the house in Antrim and went down to the boat and decided to get fuel in Scotland when we get off the ferry. After fueling up, we made our way up the road next Dumfries and stopped about 20 miles up the road in a little place called Newton Stewart. It's a nice little town. Passed by it on the A75 many a time, but we never stopped in it. But this is a little clip coming up of the actual town. From Newton Stewart we went on to Dumfries, and just outside Dumfries there's a lovely stopover area. Now I did show it in my last video, but since my last video I've purchased a drone, so I'm going to be able to show you some aerial photographs of Calaverock stopover. Really nice little place. You've chemical toilet disposal, fresh water, and you can dump your rubbish. There's a castle close by, there's a woodland area, and there's a bar and restaurant just up the road. So here we go, this is the place. This is actually the stopover that we have arrived at. My apologies for the big squashed fly in front of the dash cam. I didn't realise it was there because the camera is covering it. So when we arrived there was only one other van. You can barely see it up in the right hand corner. So 3 or 4 spaces available, but if they're not available you can park really anywhere. So this is a little aerial view of the stopover in the surrounding area. So as you can see we're on the coastline. I think that's called the Solway coast. So beautiful little stopover site. Now there is an honesty box where you can drop in a few quid for your stay, so I recommend you do that. We don't want to lose that little gem. So the next place we stopped after visiting family in Manchester was the port of Mostyn on the Flintshire coast in Wales. Now there is a very narrow lane up to this stopover and it's full of potholes, and there's no turning area at the end of the lane, so beware if you're in a big van. Now across the bay there is a sandy bay, and across the bay there's a chemical processing factory, and as you can see there is a harbour. Now the little sandy beach between the stopover and the harbour has quite a bit of sand, but it also has loads and loads of rubble dumped on the beach, and this is one of them here. This has been a brick eroded by the sea, a concrete brick with holes in. Now you can see them here, there's absolutely hundreds of them just staring you in the face. Anyway, on to the next place, and this is Riddle, further down the coast. I'm sure you've heard of Riddle in Wales. Now this video clip was taken in sunset, that's why it's a golden yellow colour. It was a beautiful night, and this is the river running into the sea with two bridges. There's a road bridge crossing over the river, taking you to the harbour and further on down the coast. This is the stopover car park. You can see the van sitting parked. So this is the beach, quite a nice beach. Now when the tide goes out, it is massive. A massive beach. It's more like an estuary, but the tide does come in pretty far. This is actually a boat making its way up the river into the harbour. Now this bridge has traffic lights on it, as you can see, and the bridge actually lifts up to allow boats that are too high to go under the bridge. When it lifts up, they can get up through there into the harbour. So a nice bit of engineering. I'm sure it cost a fortune, and it's not a road bridge, it's only a pedestrian bridge. So there you go, that's the road bridge you can see in the distance. It takes you over to the harbour from the town and on further down the coast. That's the lower stretch of the river. Now this big contraption here is actually a crane for lifting heavy boats out of the harbour and taking them up to the boatyard for service. You can see it moving slowly up the slipway. The guys are, I think it's actually remote control. And slowly they'll move it up there and across the car park into the boatyard. Now when they got it into the boatyard, the first thing they done was power hose it underneath, because boats do get a lot of seaweed and barnacles growing underneath, under the water line, and it needs to be cleaned off every now and again. So this is the first time I've ever seen one in operation. I just happened to be there at the right time, and you must admit, an excellent piece of machinery for doing the job. Right, the next place we went to was Dennis Dinnell. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but a beautiful little seaside area. I'll not call it a town because really there's only a cafe and a bar up the road. Now this is a little area we parked in, stayed overnight. Now there is parking areas down closer to the cafe and the bar, but we decided to park well away from there because there's a lot of day trippers coming and going. So I thought it best to leave that little area close to the cafe for them. This is a little bar, BRAF, Braff, down to the Braff for a pint. So this is the beach, partly stony, partly sand, but quite a nice beach and there's quite a lot of people using it. That's the 3-4 sea stacks in the distance on the Lynn Peninsula. So it adds a bit of scenery to the area. Really nice. Another nice point of interest is the Iron Age hill fort just behind the cafe down at the main part. There has been a few finds during excavation on the fort, and they've found a carved gemstone worn in a ring, Roman coins and numerous other items. So seemed to be a busy place over the years. So I took a walk up the hill and this is what I found. An excavation actually taking place. So I hope they found a lot more stuff, and it was good to see them all out with their trowels poking through the soil. Now that's another view of the sea stacks. Very nice scenery. So the next place we went to was Aberdaron, in a little caravan site about 20 miles south of Carnarvon. Now I did have pictures of the town of Aberdaron in the last video, so I'll not put that on again, but this is the actual camping site. And I do have a drone now, so I put some drone footage on for you to see down towards Aberdaron. Now that's the caravan, the camping site, and this one here is looking down towards Aberdaron. You can see the coast there. Now just north of Aberdaron in the Lynn Peninsula, you have this place. Now don't ask me to pronounce that because I would make a real mess of it. But there's a hilly area that's looking towards Aberdaron there now again. But as you see the camera coming round, you can see how beautiful it is. There's actually an island out here. That's another hill. I'm not sure what you call that, but it's in the same vicinity. So that's the main island there. Beautiful views from up here. Now the day we went up, it was blowing a gale, so you'll notice the camera's a bit jerky on it. But a lovely area. It's a bit of a struggle driving up, very small narrow lane up to it, but at least you can drive up, you don't have to walk up. So we spent an hour or so there admiring the view, getting a cup of tea and a sandwich, and then we started making our way back down the road. So this is the road down from the hill, as you can see, a bit treacherous, but there is passing points where you can stop and let the car coming towards you past, or vice versa. So if you're in Aberdaron, around that area, call up and enjoy the views from the hill. Well, that's the end of the first part of the tour. We did go to a few other places that you'll see in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed the video as much as we enjoyed the tour. So until the next time, take care and happy travelling. Bye for now.